Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to BWTM Sports. We're just having a bit of technical issues at the moment trying to get Mr. Sanchez on the phone, but he is around. We just got issues connecting with, here we go. Abel's ringing in now. Hello, Abel?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you hear me, Abel?
I can hear you, yes.
Fantastic, and I can hear you too. Thank you so much, Abel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to BWTM Sports. We have Abel Sanchez up in the mountains probably, and we're having problems connecting with him. Abel? Hello?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah, I can hear you.
Let me ring you on my... Let me ring you.
I can hear you.
Okay, fine. Okay. Abel, how are we doing?
Okay.
Fantastic.
Right.
Are you up in the mountains?
Just got finished with the gym.
Okay, fantastic.
No, I just got finished with the gym. Yes, I'm up in the mountain.
Okay, great. Okay, talk to us. The win over Gassiev, a great win there.
Yes, he fought a good fight. I thought that he did a lot of the things that we worked on in the gym. He's obviously a prospect, a young man in a learning curve. So we're trying to do it as fast as we can because this tournament is not waiting for anybody.
I said to you when I texted you after the win, I said that looked like Golovkin all over again, the body shot.
Yeah, you know what? Golovkin is a good mentor in the gym. They watch him and he's successful, so they try to emulate some of the things that he does. But you couldn't have a better mentor than a guy that's undefeated and probably pound for pound best fighter in the world.
So the fact that he's now got kind of considered like the cruiserweight Golovkin, does that put any more pressure on Gassiev? Has he heard that? What's his reaction to that?
No, I said this a long time ago. Going to my gym, so there's no pressure. He relishes the fact.
Yeah, we're breaking up here. That's what happens when we're up in the mountains with Abel. So you bear with us a second. Abel, I'm going to ring you back on my number. Give me a second.
You there?
I'm going to ring you back on my number. So bear with us a second, people. We're having technical issues. Sometimes it happens when you're up in the mountains with Abel. The connection isn't that great, but we will get Abel back in a second. But I'm just going to use... I'll just call him off my phone as opposed to using... well, if it lets me. Let's get a clear sound so everyone can hear Abel nice and clearly. Let's try again, shall we? Let's try now, see if we can get him this way. Hello, Abel. This should be clearer now.
Okay, much better.
There we go. There we go. So you were saying about Gassiev.
Yeah, he's a young man, only 24 years old. I don't think he feels the pressure. I think he relishes the fact that people are paying attention now to what he's doing. He's 24 years old in age, but I think he's a lot older because of the kind of work and the kind of mentoring he's been getting from Golovkin.
So, okay, in terms of, you said that you train them similarly. Can you explain how you train Golovkin and Gassiev similarly? Because obviously the results are working.
I've always believed that the bigger weights. I've always been best with junior middleweights and higher weights have to fight like middleweights to be attractive. They have to have speed. They have to have movement. They have to have power. But if I have a heavyweight that wants to lumber around the ring, nobody wants to see that. So I try to make sure that they understand that they have to fight like middleweights. I want speed, I want power, I want movement, I want quickness. And I think Murad has caught on to that, and he's able to do a lot of things that Golovkin does. Maybe not on the same level as far as ability and skills, but he's getting there.
When you hear people say, well, Dogchek, oh, well, he was old and he was past it, and, well, you beat a faded fighter, what's your responses to that?
You know what? They weren't saying that before the fight, so it doesn't matter to me. It's just like Golovkin's opponents. Everybody that he fought before the fight was his next big test. He was going to be beaten. He's going to get knocked out by Canelo, people were saying. Canelo ran from him the whole fight. But even before that, every fighter that he fought was either too young, too old, too green, too inexperienced, too experienced. So it doesn't affect me. I just go and look for the next fight, and we prepare, because you can't please everybody.
This next fight, Doctius is a real handful, people are saying. What are your thoughts on him from...
No, Doctius is not only undefeated, but all of his fights except for one are knockouts. So he's got a great amateur background with the Cuban team, but he can talk all he wants. He's going to have to get in the ring with Garcia, and when he gets in the ring with Garcia, then we'll answer all the questions and answer if he can hang in there. If Garcia can hang in there, who knows? You know, if this could be a barn burner, this could be a great fight, and the guy that wins should win the tournament, because these are the two best guys in the tournament, in my opinion. I think Usyk is a great boxer, but I don't think he can handle these two guys.
So, what do you think is going to be the key for Gassiev to win this fight?
I think they're just taking away the edge by a lot of mental pressure, by just pressure and being there like Golovkin does. Gassiev is a very strong fighter, good puncher, but so is Dorticos. But I don't think Dorticos have the mental capacity to hang in there when there's pressure on him for 12 rounds. I've seen him fight a guy named Kalenga, and Kalenga beat him to the body and stopped him to the body, except Kalenga got tired. Kalenga used to be in my gym, and Kalenga sparred with Gassiev, and Kalenga almost refused to spar with Gassiev when he was here. But it's just a matter of making sure that we're on him and we're dictating the fight.
What do you make of the story now that obviously today Saunders landed in Canada for a press conference? Your thoughts on Saunders versus Lemieux?
You know what? That's a great fight. To me, that's a 50-50 fight. I think that Saunders is probably the more skilled, but Lemieux can punch, and Lemieux is very strong, and it's a 12-round fight, and Saunders is going to have to be on his P's and Q's. He's going to have to be at his best to be able to pull this one out. I don't think it's a walkover. I think it's a difficult fight for both guys.
Okay. The other thing I want to ask you now is this weekend, there's been a change of opponent for Anthony Joshua. He now fights Carlos Takam. Do you see that being a problem? Do you see Takam being a better opponent or worse opponent than Pulev?
No, that's unfortunate, because Takam's not going to have enough time to really prepare the way that he should prepare for a good fighter like Joshua. Pulev was told about this fight and signed this fight a while back, so he had the time to be in the gym and get himself not only physically but mentally ready. Takam is a little smaller guy than Pulev, so I think it's a good fight for Joshua. I don't think it's the best fight for the public, but I don't think that they should cancel the fight just because Pulev got hurt. They need to get the next guy, and he's the one that was ready, and we're going to have a fight, but I don't think Joshua will have any problem.
So you think Joshua wins this fight quite easily?
Not easily. Takam's a good journeyman, but it's not. I don't think he's had enough time to prepare for this fight.
According to Eddie Hearn, Takam had plenty of preparation because he knew that if Pulev pulled out, that he'd be in.
Yeah, well, Eddie Hearn's a good salesman, and he's proven that just by all the great fights that he's put on. I mean, he puts on some good shows, and he's going to tell you what is necessary to promote the show. But we know that Takam, I mean, we're not there, but we know it because we're trainers and we have fighters and we've been in this business for a while, that fighters don't train unless they have a fight. Maybe they train, they're in the gym, I should say, but they're not training for a fight. What
do you make of the news that there's a potential that Terry Flanagan could be fighting Linares.
Oh, wow, that's a good fight. Two very skilled guys, two very experienced guys. I think Terry is a little underrated at times, but he's a very good fighter. Linares is obviously probably one of the he has the best technique of any fighter that I've ever seen. In our era, anyway. But he's sometimes a little fragile in the face. He gets cut very easily. So that could be an issue in his fight. But Flanagan's a very good fighter. I think that it's good that they're trying to unify divisions.
There's a debate on by Sky Sports News. Former undisputed heavyweight champion of the world read a tweet earlier on Lennox Lewis. He said, Sky Sports asked the question, is Anthony Joshua the greatest British heavyweight ever? And Lewis asked the question, well, I don't know who's running Sky Sports at the moment, but I'm a bit concerned because, well, and obviously he would feel concerned because he was a British heavyweight and he was the undisputed champion of the world. But they're considering Joshua potentially the greatest heavyweight in British history. What are your thoughts on this, Abel?
I think that Joshua has a long way to go to catch up to Lennox Lewis. I think that Joshua potentially has the ability to become a very good fighter, but he is not that yet. And Lennox Lewis is a great champion, a unified champion. He defended it against everybody that was anybody. To compare, to put Joshua on the same level as Lennox Lewis, I think is an insult to Lennox Lewis.
How much responsibility does the media have to promoting fighters and educating boxing fans about boxing in general, Abel?
I think it's a responsibility of everybody, but especially the media. I think the media sometimes gets on a parading somebody to us like he's the next coming, and they have to understand that he has a long way to go. They understand. Look at Lennox's fight. Look at the fight with Klitschko. Look at fights before that. Look at all the fights that he had against some very, very good, accomplished fighters. Who has Joshua fought? A 40-year-old Klitschko, Vladimir, and who else? I mean, that's a very note. Brazil, Washington. He's fought nobody. So I don't think you can insult Lennox like that by comparing him, like putting him on the same level. He's got a long way to go. He may get there, but he's got a long way to go.
What do you make of a fighter saying that he's not quite ready? Because there were some quotes in the media that Joshua said he wasn't quite ready for Deontay Wilder. Is that a good sign for a fighter to say things like that, or is just a fighter wanting to manage his time and build himself properly?
That's just being realistic. He understands what he's learning and how he's progressing. These fights against the Takams and the Pulevs are the kind of fights that are going to make you a better fighter. These are the kind of fights that Lennox went through at the beginning of his career against some good guys until he met the elite guys. But if Joshua doesn't do that and just jumps into a fight against a guy that maybe is the same as he is right now, then I don't think it's doing him the management is not doing him a good service. I think that they need to prepare him so that he goes into a fight to be a 70-30 winner or a 60-40 winner. I don't care if it's Wilder or Lennox or anybody that he fights. But if he's not learning along the way and getting better, then I don't think his management is doing a good job. Joshua understands where he's at, and if he said that, if he actually said that he's a smart man.
This weekend, Rob Brandt fights Jürgen Bremer for the last place in the super middleweight semi-finals, your quarterfinals at the moment. Your thoughts on that particular fight?
Well, Brandt is an untested guy. I don't think Brandt has really fought the quality opponents that Bremer had. It's a good fight. I don't think they're the quality of that tournament. I think that they will get beat by the next level, but it's a good fight. But Brandt has a way to go also.
As he's the only American in the tournament, before when Andre Ward was in the tournament, they expected a European to win it, and they kind of counted out Andre Ward. Could the same be said for Brandt, or is that just something that we should overlook?
I know Andre Ward was a co-medalist with 17 fights, 7 undefeated fights. Totally different levels, totally different fighters, totally different abilities, totally different quality of fighters. So you can't compare Andre Ward to Brent. Brent is a decent fighter who is learning, who is improving. But this tournament will be good for him because he'll meet some of the best. But I think he still has a way to go.
Got a question coming here from Roman Devil. He says, a question for Mr. Sanchez. Ingram, this, sorry, is quite long. I'm a big fan of Gassiev, Mr. Sanchez, and Gennady Golovkin, but I'm a bit concerned about the Dortiz fight. Dortiz has big reach and height, reach advantage. So they're talking about the reach advantage here. Thank you, Mr. Roman Devil. What a name, as a what a username. But yeah, he's concerned about the height, the reach advantage that Dortiz would have.
I'm not as much concerned about that as I am concerned about his. If I am concerned about anything, it would be his amateur background. He's a guy that's had an immense schooling in Cuba since he was 12, 11 years old. So him going through that system and being able to fight internationally, do all the things that he's done, that's what concerns me more than his reach. His reach is going to be able. We're going to be able to get inside of that. When we get inside of it, we're going to be able to outdo him. He's an exceptional puncher. He's a very good fighter. But it's a matter of Gassiev just making sure that we're first and we're dictating the fight and not letting Dorticos get into a rhythm.
He continues by saying, Abel, he says, he has a great punch arsenal and is fast and has a high output. He also has much more experience than Gassiev. He had over 250 more amateur fights compared to Gassiev's 20, 25, 30 fights, which is what you've mentioned. He says, he continues by going, Gassiev needs to close, needs to be able to be able to step back out of range when Dortiz throws his combos, and then needs to be able to close the distance quickly and punching twos and maybe threes, not singles. So, and he was also saying that
everybody has an opinion,
but
there's only two guys in the ring. There's only two guys. You and I can have an opinion about the way the fight should be fought, but when they get in the ring, things happen in there that changes their outlook on how they need to approach the fight. We always prepare to be the best we can be as fighters and use our best weapon. But the other guy wants to win too, and the other guy, like he just mentioned, has a heck of a lot more fights, a heck of a lot more experience, and he does have a great arsenal of punches. But it's up to us, being at our best, to be able to neutralize all those things. And by doing that, we will be able to take away all his weapons. But it doesn't mean that Gassiev's not going to get hit. He's going to get hit. They're both going to get hit because that's just what it is. Let's see who can take it, and let's see who can have the intestinal fortitude to continue on the 12 rounds.
He finally says, I've seen some improvements from Gassiev in his last fight. Sanchez doing a great job with him.
Well, you know, a lot of these guys, remember Gassiev had 25 fights as an amateur, and he's got 25 fights as a pro. So all the schooling that we're doing at an accelerated rate because we don't have time. This tournament doesn't give us the time. The next fight is in 3 months. So we have to accelerate his learning curve and at the same time prepare him for a fight. So if he's looking better, it's because we're working on trying to make him better. But at the same time, we got to prepare for a fight and prepare for what Dorticos is going to bring. And it's not always the easiest task to have two things to do at the same time.
How do you play catch-up, Abel? Do you do fights in the gym, or how do you do the catch-up? How do you make up for that time? Because you've done an excellent job so far.
It's just working overtime. It's just working overtime and bringing in the kind of sparring that's going to improve him, but also doing all the tactical stuff in the ring with him, a lot of technical stuff too. But a lot of it is just hard work. And the fighters have to have the dedication and discipline to put up with us because we're going to work them until they can't work no more. And when we do that, they have to be able to come back tomorrow and do the same thing for us. But Gassiev is 24 years old. He's still hungry. He still wants to learn, and he understands that the guys ahead of him are much, much more ahead of him. So he's going to have to make it up with aggressiveness and being a little smarter inside the ring and be able to land the shots that he needs to land.
So does that mean now he gets less of a rest time before he comes back to camp to prepare for this, or is it straight into another camp?
He's going home for 2 weeks, trading out some business practice for 2 weeks and come back on the 5th of November.
And then he's back into training camp again.
Back in the training camp, yes. That's the Big Bear on the 5th of November.
Damn. Is that enough time to rest his body up, Abel?
This tournament is not giving us a chance to rest our body. This tournament is demanding, and this tournament is not going to ask if you rest or didn't rest. You're going to have to be ready.
Wow. And
Dorticos is not going to care that he didn't rest his body.
That's true. And for you, what sort of pressure does this put on you as a trainer now, Abel?
No, there's no pressure. Really, this is the situation that I'm in with Gassiev in this case is the situation that a lot of coaches wish they were in, because we work our butts off our whole lives to get somebody with that kind of future for us to try to develop them, and that's what we all hope and pray for every night, that one of those guys comes along. And I've been fortunate, I've been blessed. I've had not only Golovkin but Gassiev, but I got 3 or 4 more in the gym that are coming along real well. And it's just hard work. It's no pressure. Just think of tomorrow and what we want to accomplish tomorrow, because the fight's going to be here before you know it.
So you talked about some other guys in your gym. We know of Golovkin, we know of Gassiev, and we know that you were training Andy Ruiz. Who else have you got in the gym that we don't know about?
I have Alex Salcedo, who fights at the 11th in Fresno. He's a junior welterweight who's 25-0 or 26-0.
Okay.
I have Constantine Panamarev, who fights sometime in November also. He's 33-0 or 34-0. He's number 1 in the IBF ranking. I have Denis Shafikov, who is fighting for Eliminator in the 130-pound division in December.
Of course.
I have a young man named Sergey Bokanchuk, who's 5-0, who fights in December also. I have Arsen. He's an Armenian kid, a cruiserweight, who's number 1 in WBA, who's also fighting for the number 1 spot. Once the tournament's over, he'll be fighting for the title. I also have Michel Soro, who fights on the 2nd of December for the number 1 spot in the WBA also. So I have several fighters in the gym that are at number 1 or number 2 that I have to be concerned with also.
How do you get the time to train all these fighters, Abel?
Well, we do it in time. We train at 1, we train at 3, we train at 5, and we train different weights at a different time, so that way we have time for everybody. But
can one train? Oh, obviously, one trainer is doing all that training, but they say that if a trainer has too many fighters, they can't give them individual attention. Is that true, or is that a myth?
Did I just mention everybody that was undefeated?
Well, the argument would be, well, they're not world champions yet, so
No, but you know what? They have to get title shots. None of those guys have gotten a title shot, except for Shafikov. But in this particular case, we're dropping Shafikov down to 130 instead of, he won't fight at 135 no more, because they're a little too big for him, I believe. But the other guys that I've mentioned, Michel Soro hasn't gotten a title shot. Arsen is number 1 in the WBA for as a cruiserweight, and this tournament has kind of put a damper on the titles at that weight division. So once they fight for the titles and we lose, then people can say that.
Of course.
So then I think that being undefeated and progressing and getting better is the key for us in the gym.
Absolutely. I've got 2 questions here from people in the room. They ask, is it true that Gassiev knocked out Kalenga in sparring? Or was that a rumor?
No, he did not knock out Kalenga. No, in sparring we try real hard to work with each other and help each other. Hard, of course, but we're not trying to hurt anybody. They're trying to, if they knock each other out, they just say, then who the heck's going to spar with that is that quality? So we try to make sure that they understand that, and they work hard. And they punch at each other hard, but once somebody lands a good shot, then we back off and we start again. It's a matter of conserving what we have and making sure that we have it for tomorrow.
Are you aware of the almost godlike status that Gennady Golovkin has across boxing forums and by boxing fans?
I'm beginning to realize that a little bit more and see it. I see it in a lot of ways. I see it more in just a pedestal that people put him on. Reporters, journalists, you guys expect him to look like $1 million every time he fights. You got to understand there's another guy in front of him that wants to win also. But that's okay. We want to excel. We want to be the best that we can be, and we want him to look the best that he can look every time out. But I am starting to see it a little bit more and more every time.
But do you understand that in the sense that when people say now, oh, well, 3 fights Golovkin's had now, he's not looked fantastic, he's on the decline. Do you, and they start bringing the age in, do you understand why people say that, or do you just think that it's just negative press?
I understand why people say that. No, I do understand why people say that, but understand this, that if, what's his name, Lemieux beat Saunders, then what does that say about Golovkin's abilities? If Jacobs fights one of the Charlos or one of the other champions and Jacobs wins, Jacobs knocked out Quillen, who was supposed to knock out Golovkin. So you got to remember, the other guys want to win also. Canelo, the only fight he lost was against Mayweather, and according to a lot of people, it was a close fight. He beat a lot of other junior middleweights. He moved up to middleweight and had a difficult fight with Golovkin because he didn't really fight. But the guys that people are saying he didn't look good against, you got to look at their records too. You have to look at the quality of guys that Golovkin is facing and the quality of guys that he's beating.
Absolutely. Do you think that there will be a homecoming for Gennady Golovkin in his home of Kazakhstan?
You know, I don't know what's planned, but right now his career is the most important thing. Right now that he's already 35 years old, we don't want to take any time off and plan something like that, because if they do plan it, I'm sure they're going to plan it so it's a countrywide thing where he goes to 3 or 4 different cities. Right now, it's concentration on hopefully the fight in the summer, early summer against Canelo, if they can put it together. But that homecoming and celebration is something that should be once he has some really time off, that there's nothing planned in front of him.
Right. There were some reports that you were not happy hearing that Canelo may go another way instead of fighting Golovkin in the summer.
No, somebody asked me what I thought if Canelo fought the winner of, if Lemieux beat Saunders and Canelo ended up fighting Lemieux. I said, what I said was, why would Canelo fight Gennady leftovers? Why would he fight somebody that was so dominated by Golovkin that really shouldn't be until Lemieux proves himself as a middleweight champion again, if he happens to beat Saunders. But I don't think that the Mexican people or the Mexican fans are going to allow Canelo to take a diversion to one side from Golovkin. I think that he owes the fans that, and the fans are going to hold him accountable.
Well, what I've been reading in the media is that he wants Golovkin, that he wants to fight Golovkin again. He's hungry for the fight.
Okay, well, the reason I answered it that way was because I was asked that somebody had said that he would fight the winner of the thing. Yeah. That's why I answered it that way. I believe that he wants Golovkin again also. I believe that they're negotiating, Tom Loeffler and Eric and Oscar are negotiating on a weekly basis, if not on a daily basis. And I'm sure they're going to come up with something for May the 5th, which is a Mexican holiday. But it's still a long ways away. We still have the New Year's to come up. There's still celebrations for both guys at home. So once that's over, I'm sure that they'll sit down in a serious way and put it together.
Can you get Golovkin to be as good or better come next year, May? I mean, he's going to be that much older. I mean, is that going to have a significant effect?
Yeah, but he won't fight. He won't fight until then. The wear and tear of these fighters is the gym work that they do. It's not really the fights. The fights are easy compared to what we do in the gym, and a lot of fighters go in the gym.
Right.
So it's just a matter of giving them rest. The same thing with Canelo, giving them rest and going back and sharpening up the stone. I mean, sharpening up that blade and making sure that they understand the responsibility that they have to fulfill everything that maybe the fans feel they didn't fulfill in the last one.
Okay, I've got 2 more questions for you, Abel. Then we're gonna let you go. Question number 1 is, Abel, does Golovkin hit as hard as Gassiev on the pads?
Golovkin is harder.
Wow. Golovkin gets harder than Gassiev. Whoa. And one more question I've got to ask you, and this is something from a trainer's perspective, looking back at the fight with Golovkin versus Canelo, or any fight that your fighter has, do you have any concern about the amount of punishment your fighters take while going forward? Does that ever play on your mind?
No, because if you look at what's that called, punch stats that HBO does,
Yes.
the computer thing.
Yes.
Golovkin is always among the top 2 or 3 in defensive prowess, and he's among the top 2 or 3 in offensive prowess. So for the kind of style that he has, to be 2 or 3 of the best defensive fighters in boxing. I mean, Rigondeaux above him, Andre Ward was below him. Look at the punch stats. He just happens to be among the top 2 or 3. And for that kind of style, for him to be there, I think that says something about his defense. Yes, because he goes forward, it looks like he's getting hit with a lot of shots, but compare the shots that were missed to the shots that were landed with his kind of style, there's no comparison.
But do you think that if he's defensively so high is because he knocked so many guys out so quickly that they can't land punches on him, which would make his defensive record be higher than it actually, because now he's got guys firing punches back at him.
You have to remember, he fought Murray to 11 rounds, he fought Lemieux to 8 rounds, he fought Monroe to 6 rounds.
All right.
Monroe hit him and still pointed him.
All right.
He fought Jacobs at 12 rounds. This last fight was 12 rounds. So I think if they average out the last 10 fights.
But I mean, some of those guys you mentioned earlier in his career, once they got hit by Golovkin, they backed up real quickly and they didn't really want to engage as much, which would lower their output of punches. Is that a fair assessment?
Oh, that's fair, but they're not putting their hands on letting Golovkin hit them. They're throwing punches too.
Oh yeah, I'm not disputing that.
If they're throwing punches, they're going to land some of them or not. So if they're throwing punches, Golovkin's not just going to stand there and get hit. He's going to have some defense too. If he's coming forward and they're throwing punches, if he doesn't move his head or he doesn't have defense, he's going to get hit. So even if they're throwing 10 punches around, if they land 10, well, that's pretty high percentage. That's 100%. And they don't go by the amount of punches; they go by the percentage of punches landed.
Okay.
Meaning if they threw 10 and they landed 10, that's 100%. But if they threw 10 and landed 1, that's only 10%.
Okay, fair enough. What I want to do one evening, Abel, I'm not sure when yet, but I'm going to find an evening. I'm going to get a collection of comments of adulation regarding Gennady Golovkin, and just for you to understand the sort of almost, like I said, godlike status. So then you've got kind of more of an idea as to why maybe reporters come out the way that they do, because I think some of them really do suck it up. And really, they suck it and smell it so much so that when Golovkin's not performing, they come at you at an angle. They come at you in a way that you're like, why am I getting attacked this way? When really it's not you're being attacked. It's that really the expectation is so high, like they're doing with Anthony Joshua now, that it's become unrealistic. So that even the fighter, no matter what the fighter does, he'll never reach that level of attainment because it's just unrealistic.
Well, I appreciate that, but you know what? I was just talking to somebody today about all the work that we got in front of us. I do anyway. And I was saying that we were mad when the phone wasn't ringing, and now that the phone is ringing too much, we're mad at that. So we just can never be satisfied, man. People just can't. They want this, and then they don't want it. They want him to knock people out, and then when he stops knocking people out and they start winning decisions, they don't like it. Well, we're gonna do the best we can do for the fans. And I promise you that he's going to be 100% every time that they're out, that they fight. And if the other guy's at 100% and he wants to win, then it may be a more difficult fight. But Golovkin's going to do the best that he can to knock everybody out. And if he can't knock them out, well, then we'll try the next time. And
Floyd Mayweather's comeback.
Pardon me?
Floyd Mayweather, the mysterious photo of him working in the gym, a comeback.
Floyd has always been a very good promoter, and why I say that is because every time that he retired, he was going to fight again with somebody. He always mentioned things, like under his breath, or somebody made a little article about him running in at 2:00 in the morning and being in shape and all that. promotes himself way ahead of time. So if he makes a comeback, I hope he finds somebody that's relevant and somebody that will do something for Floyd's legacy and for Floyd's 50th, because I don't think that McGregor fights for 50th. But I'm happy for him. I think that he should. If that's what is in his heart, then nobody should keep him from it.
I ask you again, would you take a Mayweather fight and boot Canelo to one side for Mayweather for 50 or 51?
You know what? I would say for me, absolutely. But all decisions at this point for Golovkin are made by a team, which is all of us sitting down together and seeing the pros and cons of it. But I would say yes. I wouldn't turn it down. Mayweather is still a big name, and Mayweather still carries a lot of weight. So I would love to see that fight.
Okay. And Charlo?
Charlo still has to, just like Andre just winning the other night, Charlo still has to beat somebody. And Andre also, and look at Lemieux went out and fought Stevens. Lemieux now is fighting Saunders. Why didn't Charlo go after Saunders? Why didn't Charlo go after Andre? Why don't these guys fight somebody so the people know who they are, so that maybe they can sell 10 tickets?
You've got a way of putting things away, haven't you, Abel? You really got a way of putting things. But it's true.
Or 12.
Or 12 tickets. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Can Gennady make 154? Somebody just asked the question.
You know what? I think that at the point where that is a serious conversation, then we'll have a serious talk about it. Until then, it makes no sense to even speculate now, because Golovkin may not want the Mayweather, may want the Canelo fight to straighten that out. I don't know. But if in the past I said that he can make 54 is because I've seen him in the gym. So I know that he can make 54. Whether he wants to make 54 is another thing.
You know, people will always hold you to that statement you made about the 154, the 168 statement. People will always hold you to that regardless. You know that, don't you?
But you understand what you understand?
I understand why you said it.
Context,
yes, I understand that.
What I said it was, if it makes financial sense, was my comment with that comment. And a Mayweather fight would make financial sense.
Of course, I understand that.
A Ward fight would not have made financial sense. So that's why a lot of people just use that statement without really putting it all together.
I'm aware of that. I'm very aware of that. But you know, there's an agenda with you anyway. When it comes to people talking about Abel Sanchez, take whatever you say and flip it, and then make it sound and stick it somewhere. I don't know why they do it with you, Abel, but they do it all the time. So
that's okay. It's better to be talked about, though. It's better to be talked about than be left alone and nobody mentions you. You know?
Even if they screw your words up.
It doesn't matter. As long as they're talking about you, that means they're thinking about you.
Okay, well, fair enough. Abel Sanchez, as always, thank you so much for talking BWTM Sports. Have you got anything to say to anybody before we disappear?
You know, I always appreciate the time that we spend together, because I get a lot of insight on some of the things that are being said. But it's also good to voice opinions and to have opinions, because that's what makes this game so interesting. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Everybody's got an opinion, and as long as they keep watching this boxing and keep going to the fights and keep promoting fighters and keep helping fighters, I think that it's a healthy thing for us to be talking together.
Abel, as always, thank you so much.
Thank you, and have a great day.
You too. Take care. So there you have it. Once again, another exclusive by BWTM Sports with the trainer of Gassiev and Gennady Golovkin. Thank you all so much for once again joining us for this exclusive at BWTM Sports. You don't have to read about it. You don't have to guess. You've heard it from the horse's mouth himself, the trainer of Gennady Golovkin and Gassiev, and a host of other fighters, as you mentioned tonight. Don't forget to leave your comments, rate, subscribe, share the video, hit as many likes as you can on this video as well. Tell your people about it, and you know where you heard it first. This has been me, Ingram Jones at BWTM, saying good night for those in Europe and good evening to those in the US. Take care.